IELTS preparation at home. Hi there, my name is Ben Worthington, and in this video we're going to look at 6 tips to help you prepare for IELTS at home, and then we're going to look at why IELTS language schools, language academies, preparation academies are pretty much useless. Right, let's get into it straight away. So, number 1, if you're preparing for IELTS at home, you need to get familiar with the exam. It's your responsibility. So, how do we get familiar with the exam? Well, we find the practice tests. We do some mock tests, some mock practice tests, and we get familiar with the areas that are causing us to lose points. It's quite straightforward. If you want more information about that, go to IELTS Preparation in 10 days. I've got another video about that. I go into it in much more detail on how to prepare. But it's your responsibility. You find the practice test, you get familiar with the exam. Number 2, this is closely related to the first tip. You get disciplined, because if you're going to a language academy, you know that you're going to be preparing 3 hours on a Friday for IELTS, and you need to have the same structured approach when you're preparing for the exam. So you also must apply 3 hours on a Friday to only practicing IELTS. By the way, when you do this, put your phone into flight mode or something like that, and minimize the distractions so you can get a full work cycle in place, a whole block of pure IELTS preparation. So, next point, same as before, do not confuse watching YouTube videos about IELTS with preparing for IELTS. These are related, but personally, I think you get more value actually doing the writing task and getting feedback rather than watching a video about how to write an introduction. Of course, they are useful, but you need to find a balance. I'm talking from experience. When I prepared for tests, I just watch videos, when actually I should have been doing what the video prescribed. Okay. It also reminds me just one small joke. It was like, what did the father spider say to the younger spider, to his child spider? He said, "Stop spending so much time on the web." Anyway, if you like that joke, if you made it smile, you can become you can find a tutor online, and an IELTS tutor that you find online is going to be, in my opinion, probably better quality than the one at the language center, because the one at the language center probably has to do conversation classes, classes for children, classes for teenagers, and then on a Friday afternoon, IELTS classes. Whereas if you find a tutor that's specialized in only IELTS preparation, then it's much more likely you're going to get better quality results. Okay? This is one of the reasons why I decided as a tutor, as an IELTS professional, to specialize only in preparing students for the IELTS, especially the writing task. And I just think with more specialization, you get better results. Just more focus. It's quite clear. Next one. Before I tell you about the why I think language academies are useless, we've got 2 more results. So 2 more tips. Convert your home into your preparation center. So this goes back to what I was saying before. Block the time, put your phone in flight mode, and also just stick the vocab you need, that you want to learn, stick it on your fridge, stick it on your bathroom mirror, make it your preparation center. Also, prepare for success. I think I was going to say it before, but as I can relate it to what I was saying about discipline. If we fail to plan, we're planning to fail. So when I say make your home your academy or convert your home to your preparation center, what I'm saying is just put the test papers on the table in the morning before you go, before you read, before you have breakfast, and then you're just more likely to read it. Okay? Now, the next one is feedback. You're not alone in this. Okay? If you're preparing at home, it's quite easy just to think of yourself as isolated and you're in your own IELTS bubble. So this is why it's important to get feedback on the exam, on your written papers, to get feedback on your speaking, to find the errors and then improve on them. This is why in the IELTS Speaking Confidence online course that we have, we offer a free mock exam so you can discover your errors. Also with the writing course, there's feedback along the course. Now then, last one. Last tip, if you're preparing at home, also related to discipline, is you should find an accountability partner. Okay? Find somebody who you can study with. Perhaps make a WhatsApp group together or Facebook group, whatever, and just share your resources and make promises with each other. Okay, today I'm going to do 2 hours of IELTS preparation. If I don't, here's $10. Okay, just simple stuff like this. And it just really helps if you're in a group together and you can motivate each other. So get others involved and share the resources that you've found. Next one. Let's see. So I'm going to go tell you now why language academies, in my opinion, are not that good for preparation. So first of all, you have to make sure that you're getting a tutor who's specialized in this, in IELTS preparation. As I said before, dealing with a bunch of kids on Friday morning and then starting to deal with a bunch of students for IELTS preparation are two completely different skill sets. So just make sure your tutor's specialized, ask them questions, ask for a test class beforehand, ask them what experience they've got, ask them if they've got about past results, what's your success rates with other students, things like this. The other reason why I dislike these language academies is because if you're in a place like Australia or the UK, then in your class, there's probably going to be a Chinese student, Saudi Arabian student, a Polish student, a French student, and you're not going to get much exposure to English. You're going to hear the pronunciation, which is probably not that good, otherwise they wouldn't be in a class. So you're just going to get this all the time. And then maybe your tutor will speak, but they can't speak all the time, otherwise it's just boring. So, and when the tutor's not speaking and you're not speaking, you're listening to a non-native English speaker, which of course isn't going to destroy your English abilities, but it's probably not going to be so beneficial, is it? So, and likewise, if you're in a country like India and you're in these test centers and you're doing a speaking class and you're surrounded by 6 other Indians, why not just reinforce everybody's bad habit all together in one super concentrated session? So you can see why I'm not a big fan of these test centers. I think one-on-one is the ideal way. Next one. It's more expensive. These language preparation centers are more expensive than doing something like an online course. And also, you've got to think where you're spending your money, okay? So you're preparing for the writing class. You sit down, it's a 1-hour class. Teacher gives you writing task 2. You spend 40 minutes writing it, and you're like, I could be at home doing this. Why on earth am I spending my time here in silence writing? This is crazy, okay? So just be aware, if you do insist on going to these preparation centers, be aware that this could happen. Likewise, the teacher decides to practice speaking. And like I said before, you get to hear another non-native English speaker practice their speaking, you can hear all the bad habits, you can hear how they could be, how they can fail the test. What's the point in that? Next, you might be practicing a listening exam. Isn't that fantastic? You walk in, you sit down, and for 10, 20 minutes, you just listen to a CD. You could do that at home, but instead you're paying for it. You, 4, 5 other students are paying for this. It's just crazy. It's just a way to waste time, your time and your money. So, yeah, I just don't think it's the best way to prepare. I mean, it's your choice. Ask for a test class. But another final point is, do not confuse. This is like I said before, do not confuse with buying a, 5-week intensive IELTS test preparation course. Don't confuse that with actually preparing for IELTS. Of course, you're going to be a little bit more disciplined with your approach, but if you're disciplined enough, you don't have to pay that $500. Secondly, just because you've bought that course, do not assume that you're going to pass the test. I know a lot of students, myself included, I've done this, obviously not for IELTS, but for other exams. Just by buying the course, I thought in my mind, okay, that's it. My test preparation is done. You still have to do the course. You still have to work. And from my experience, a lot of students, they pass because they put the work, not because they attended the course with 5 other students, not because they did the intensive course, but they passed because they did a course probably online and then did all the work as well. Okay, so if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. All the best with your IELTS preparation, and yeah, good luck with this. Thank you for watching.